Hey everybody, it's Ken Davenport. Welcome back to this very, very exciting episode. I think this is episode number 10 of the Producer's Perspective Live, and what a guest we have for you today. We have Mr. Alan Cumming waiting backstage right now to chat with all of you, and I'm so excited. Alan is by far, the actor, the star, the celebrity that I've enjoyed working with the most. I was so fortunate enough to produce his one-man Macbeth. Yes, he played Macbeth, Lady Macbeth, Mount all of them. He had sex with himself on stage. He submerged himself in a bathtub. Oh, look, there he is. Creepy, creepy. It was one of the most amazing things I've ever seen, never mind produced. It was such a thrill, and I'm so happy he's joining us here tonight. Of course, I was first introduced to Alan in Cabaret. Nope, it was Romeo and Michelle's high school reunion. That's where I saw him first. But where I first fell in love with his live talent was, of course, with Cabaret. He took the world by storm. Everyone saw that damn thing. Also on The Good Wife, star of stage and screen, and he's going to be with us tonight and talking about what he's been doing while we're all on lockdown here. If you have questions for Alan, I know you do, please throw them in the live comments. We'll definitely get some questions tonight for everybody. So toss them in there. And look at that. Look how Mary's getting so good at this. She's just not even telling me what she's doing. And there, ask us your questions. Throw them in the live chat, and we'll ask Alan. Maybe you'll be featured on one of those banners that Mary's so good at making nowadays. Don't forget about our tip jar for the Actors Fund, all the stuff that we're doing here today. One of the reasons the celebrities get on board with this is because they know we're all doing this for the right reasons, which just throw a little support for the Actors Fund. And you know, you never know when you're going to need these folks if you're in our industry. I've asked them questions many, many times about help for family members and other actors and entertainers that I know in the biz that need a little extra support. So support them. It will come back to you. Don't forget our hashtag, stay safe, stay healthy, and stay home. There was that CNN article last night showing a glimmer of hope, even though things are going to get worse. As our president said yesterday, the next couple of weeks are going to be very tough for this country, but there are some signs that social distancing is working. So please, stay the heck home. Now, some more fun stuff. Playbill started this thing. Playbill.com started this thing last week called Show Shirt Wednesday. Is everyone wearing a show shirt? Who's wearing a show shirt? If you are, what show are you wearing? If you are, I wonder if we could bring you into this. I am wearing a show shirt, but here's the thing. I don't keep all my show shirts here. I just moved, number one. And two, I don't keep them here. So I only have two. I wore one last week. It was getting the band back together. And the second one is, you get this, it's so apropos. It is a new musical. It's called Emergency. It was featured last year at Theater Fest. And it's coming back this year, hopefully, to Theater Row. It's written by Jeff and Jacob Foy, these emerging musical theater writers. And get this, what's so perfect about this is they give me t-shirts, which, by the way, the smartest marketing ever, because look what just happened to them. There's like thousands of people that are going to see this and hear about the show, all because they gave me a $5 t-shirt. Pretty smart, Foys, pretty smart. And they won a big contest, actually, that I sponsored because of this kind of thing. Anyway, what's amazing about this and why I'm going on about it, the show is called Emergency. It's about what takes place in an emergency room. And it's written by a father and son team, the Foys, Jacob Foy and Jeff Foy. And Jeff Foy, the dad, is an emergency room physician. So I wear their show with effing pride. I think it's on the back too. Yeah, there it is, emergencythemusical.com. I wear it with pride because he's actually working the front lines of this damn crisis right now. So a big, we're going to throw their domain name. Big shout out to them for Jeff for risking so much for being in that emergency room for all of us on the front lines in Indiana. And check out their musical because it's worth supporting their musical just for what he's doing to support all of us. Okay, another quick little thing. So it's April 1st. Normally this is when people would have an April Fool's Day. I blogged today about how April Fools, just like every other major event, like the Tony Awards, Coachella, we're just going to postpone April Fools. We're just going to postpone it. We'll make it August Fools, September Fools. I don't know, but it just doesn't feel right to do April Fools. But it is the first of the month, so what I tell people to do on the first of every month, and this is the best time to do it because we've been recently told we should stay inside for another 30 days. Perfect time for a 30-day challenge. So I want all of you, here's our favorite. We have a 30-day script challenge. Mary will throw the link up. If you've ever had an idea for a show, take this free challenge, go there, sign up. Every day you'll get an email from us on how to get a script out in 30 days. But if you don't want to write a script, if you want to do another challenge, I don't care. You want to get your real estate license, you want to learn Spanish, Google learn Spanish 30 days. You'll find something about it, okay? This is a great time to take 30 days, since we're all stuck inside, pick something you've always wanted to do and accomplish it. You can do it. Everyone can commit to something for 30 days. Everybody can do it. If you want more on this, check out my blog today about it. I picked one. It's not the script one. It's a fitness challenge. I picked a 30-day fitness challenge. Every day I get up early and I try to do some exercises and try to get fit in 30 days. And we'll see if it works. Right, Mary? I mean, here's an image of what I look like just after 2 days. Just after 2 days of this. Look at me. It's coming along quite well, I think. I think I'll be good. So we'll see how I look after 30 days. All right, enough of that. It's time to get to the good stuff and enough of my very, very bad jokes. Please welcome to Producer's Perspective Live, none other than Mr. Alan Cumming. Come on down.
Hello, Ken.
Hello, Alan. How are you?
Pretty good. You know, all things considered. Got a little glass of wine.
I feel like that is one stock that will go way up over
the. You see?
Nice.
Someone today sent me an email saying Cuomo is closing down liquor stores from Monday night. But it's an April Fool.
Yeah. A similar thing went around London, I think, that they were going to close them all down and people just went nuts.
No, I think that's the only thing we can rely on.
And food, baking. There's lots of baking going on.
Guess what I just did upstairs?
Made a cake.
No, baked crackers.
Crackers?
We've run out of crackers in my house and we're still in quarantine. So we've got a couple of more days before we can go out to get food. And a delivery of vegan cheese came, but we had no crackers. So I just thought, sure, you can make crackers. And I fucking made crackers. Turmeric and flaxseed crackers.
Amazing. So you're in quarantine. So this will lead to my first question, which I've been asking everybody. Where were you when the virus hit the fan? When you know, oh shit, this is real.
I was in London. I was doing Endgame by Samuel Beckett, and also this little short play of his called Rough for Theatre 2. I've been doing that for a couple of months at the Old Vic, and it all started to happen, and the government in Britain were very slow to do anything, and Broadway theatres closed, and we were still performing. And it was getting a bit scary actually, and people were starting to wear masks to the theatre, and then you'd see empty seats, and because it was like it was sold out. It was a sold out show, and you started to see all these empty seats and people wearing masks in the front row, and we were very close to the audience. It was me and Daniel Radcliffe, and then Jane Horrocks and Carl Johnson were in the dustbins, but it was mostly Dan and I, kind of in the front line of phlegm, and then. So last Saturday would have been our last night. We had 2 weeks. We had 2 weeks to go, and they finally pulled it. And actually, the Old Vic was one of the first theatres in London to actually do that. And I don't think we should have been. I think we should have ended sooner. It was a health risk for many people. So I went to Scotland for a couple of days, and that was when they were starting to tell people to isolate and then I flew back here because that was one of the other things is that Dan was trying to get back to New York, and he's not a citizen or has a green card. So he only had till the Monday night at midnight to get back. I'm a citizen, so I was able to come back. So I came back, and then I came up here to the Catskills, to my house in the Catskill Mountains. And I've just been isolating ever since. I've literally not been outside the expansive grounds of my compound.
Well, good for you for taking it serious. And obviously, you're not no symptoms. This sounds like you're fine.
Totally fine. Yeah, no, it's been interesting. I mean, I actually have known some people who've died, and I've definitely got a lot of friends who got it or had it. But it's really interesting to see somehow. Like, I talked to 2 people today who had just like the no taste and no smell thing, and that was all they had, and then that went away. It's interesting. I think it's apparently 20% of people just have those symptoms. But I've had a couple of friends who like really said it was really hardcore. And then, you know, as I say, there's a couple like lovely Terence McNally. We lost him to that, and another downtown performer called Nashon, who was a drag. His drag name was Mona Foot, and he was always sort of a downtown in a band as well called the Ones, and he died. He just died a couple of weeks ago. So it's terrifying actually, and it's interesting things that get you. You know, today they cancelled the Edinburgh Festival, all the Edinburgh festivals, the International Festival, the Fringe, everything is, and that's not till August. And so, you know, I think we're in for a long haul.
Yeah, I think that's we all stare. I know I stare at CNN every day, waiting for some update that has some good news to it, and it just seems to be stretching on and on. So how you're such a positive person, you're such a prolific person, you work on a lot of different things. How do you keep yourself going, and how do you keep your projects going? Like, what have you been doing since you've been stuck up there and you're worse than most. You're not leaving your apartment at all. I go out once a day to get groceries or something.
Like I go, but I've not come into contact with any other human aside from Grant, my husband, for it'll be 2 weeks on Thursday. And well, a man came to fix the boiler, but I didn't see him. But he squished everything he'd been near. No, I think also, you know, because there was a thing that I took it very seriously when I arrived at the airport here from Britain, from Scotland. They said, you know, you have to self-quarantine for 2 weeks. And then also there's the other thing, that anyone who's been in New York, I went into my house in New York to drop my bags off before we came up here. So I had the double whammy of quarantine. So what I've been doing is I don't watch CNN. What I do is I read. I think it's too. I think that even having the radio on sometimes is a little too hysterical. I like to just be able to focus and just read it and not have the kind of all the sort of sound effects, because I think it's so difficult so easy rather to get into a sort of hysteria about it. And then that clouds you from being able to actually understand properly what's going on. So the important thing I think is to have a schedule. I'm back in America, a schedule. And so I've been trying to do that. And also, you know, eating healthily and staying fit. I have a little gym here. I've been doing lots of Instagram posts from my gym shed. So check out these guns. And so I've been trying to do things, and also, you know, I've actually been very busy. We were talking just before we went on air, like, because we are living now in this virtual world, I'm doing a lot of things like this, or making content for various people and charities and organizations, and trying to do that in a kind of interesting way. I'm doing a thing with the National Theatre of Scotland, which is a sort of I'm matched with a director and a writer, and we're going to make little short videos for the you know, to go online, but they'll be sort of, you know, they'll be theatrical, and so so I'm doing lots of things like that, and as well as doing my own work. I'm doing a lot of, I think the people who must be benefiting most out of this is Zoom. You know, before this, Zoom was the thing that I did my therapy sessions with my therapist when I was away from home on, and now I have a year's Zoom account. I'm like Zooming with friends in London and Barcelona for lunch on Sunday. So
I bought stock in Zoom when it first came out, and then sold it like 9 months ago, like an asshole.
Is that when I was in Scotland, I had to see these photographers about selling my little place there, and one of the guys who came to take the photos of the house said that he had just bought shares in Corona beer because they tanked so much. And I think what a clever idea, because when this is over, we're all going to want to have a Corona and clink it. And so
we have more in our fridge actually right now.
You do?
Yeah, I said it to my wife the other day, like, oh, you should grab it. She's like, nah, I'm going to save that until it's over. When it's over, I think you're right. There's going to be a giant party. They'll do some great commercials when it's over.
I'm sure. My mom the other day sent me a message saying that she called it Condorona virus. You got it wrong. I said, how can you get that wrong? You must hear that 25 times a day. But he said these boys that we knew, a couple had very sadly been suffering from Condorona.
That's like what all the people in Florida have for being quarantined in their condos. Like Condorona, all the people in Palm Beach, where it's actually getting much worse there. So right. Are you writing? Someone just asked, like, when are you going to do another book? So do you write during these kind of times? Like, tell me.
I mean, actually, I have to say, yes is the short answer. But I was going to say this is kind of my dream, to be stuck up here in the woods for an indefinite period of time without. I mean, I'm still busy doing. I did meetings a day. I did several meetings a day on the phone or about worky things, but mostly I am my own master of my time. And yes, so I'm going, once I've done things that, like, that thing that you do when you're writing, I want to obviously vacuum every inch of my house and finish and be doing this jigsaw. I've been doing 1,000-piece jigsaw. It's the most granny jigsaw. It's all of little West Highland terriers and flowers. It's so difficult. And I'm nearing the end of the jigsaw, and I feel like once the jigsaw is done and I vacuumed extensively, and there was one other thing, can't remember, one other major. Fixed the thing on my trampoline from the thing flapping up. The kind of edge of the. That's very important.
It's extremely. Yeah.
Yes, another book, very long and overdue, for the same people. The imprint of HarperCollins called Day Street Books. That I did my the memoir, about my dad, not my father's son. So I'm doing another one for them. So I've been mulling that over for the last couple of years and going in different directions. And I think I'm kind of so that's what I want to focus on over the next few months.
Yes. Let's go to a couple of the questions here. Where was that? You do so much, you do a lot of different, what do you consider most challenging or enjoyable? This is Colleen Cole. Writing, producing, directing.
Oh, I can see that. Clever.
Yeah, look at that. What you wear so many hats. What do you like the most? If you could only do one thing for the rest of your life, what would it be?
Oh, well, if I had a gun to my head, I would definitely choose the theatre. And I think actually, I really enjoy doing concerts. Like going out on the road with my little band and doing these shows that are very personal. I did the last one I did was called Legal Immigrant. I actually recorded that for Audible in there. They're doing that thing at the Minetta Lane.
Oh, yeah.
And so I recorded it. I did a few shows there and recorded it. Currently available. If you're not doing
it. Throw up a link to that, will you?
Audible.com/something. And so I did. So it's basically, an old-fashioned cabaret show. And I've really, really enjoyed that. It's over the last sort of 10 years or so, I've been doing them. The one before that was called Alan Cumming Sings Sappy Songs. And I can do it like in between filming and doing other things. Sometimes I do a little spurt of actual touring. But it's really kind of invigorated my sort of idea of having a connection with people. And also it's like you get your fix of the theatre. I mean, I think why I want to be an actor, or why I want to be an artist, is to connect with people and to sort of provoke them and to share my thoughts and share my beliefs. And so I think that is the most effective way I've found to do it is be on a stage talking about my life and my things and singing songs as me. And it's been a really great, and it's just great fun to go to all these different cities. So that's what I have found the most enjoyable over the last few while. But I usually enjoy most things. It's rare that I have I mean, once in a while I have a job, but it's a stinker. But doing Endgame, the play, I loved it because it was so challenging. Like, I think if you're going to do a play in the theater for an extended period of time, for me, it needs to be something that it's going to engage me and challenge me every single night. So that's why I think of myself as kind of a fun sort of light person. I am a very positive person, but the work I do in the theater is fucking bleak. Like Endgame, last year, Daddy, Macbeth, Cabaret, the Three Penny Opera. I mean, just the back eye. I mean, I don't really do light comedies on stage, and I feel that's because I just want to be completely engaged and challenged, and I think that's a part of what the theatre means to me is to be really scared to the point. Oh, and even like next year. Oh, I forgot to tell you this. Next year, I'm going to do a solo dance piece.
Oh, yes. I remember we talked about this on the podcast.
Yes.
How's it going? This is
It's not happening. It's like, oh my God. So I'm doing it with Stephen Hoggett is choreographing it. I'm doing it. It opens at the Edinburgh International Festival next year. Then we do some touring with the National Theatre of Scotland. Then it comes to the Joyce Theatre in New York City, the home of contemporary dance. And it's about something to do with Robert Burns, the Scottish poet. That's all I know. So, I'm doing that. I'm doing something that's very challenging. And I think it's an important part of being an artist that you sometimes do things that you think you might fail at.
Yeah, I mean, this is something I've noticed about you. I remember when we first met and we talked about Macbeth, and you were like, "Yeah, Ken, like I think I come close to death on this stage. I put myself underwater. I throw myself out there." And then I was like,
"I might die."
And then you were like, "Yeah, Ken, I'm gonna go do Cabaret again because I'm gonna be 50 and I want to do Cabaret at 50. Like, that's crazy." And then you're like, "Ken, I don't have real dance training. I'm gonna go do a solo dance piece." I mean, a lot of people might say you're nuts. How do you get up the courage to do this stuff?
I have balls of steel, Ken. I just do. I don't know how or why, but I realize that, I just feel like I don't know. I don't know why why it is I feel it. But in other areas of my life, I realize I'm very frank. I don't fear confrontation. But I'm always honest, and I try to always be kind. And but it's the same sort of thing, like, in a meeting where you go, okay, this is not working. This is unacceptable, or whatever. Or just in general in life, I just don't let things lie. I think that's what it is. And if I have an idea that I want to do something, I just do it. And I think, well, and it's so funny because one of the things I want to do, as well as the dance piece, is a documentary about why people do this very thing we're talking about, challenging themselves to the point of failure. And I do this podcast thing, don't we all, called Homo Sapiens. That's not, I mean, it's been out, but now I'm co-hosting it, and the next season's coming out soon. And I was one of the people on our that we interviewed was Patti Smith, who I adore, and I was telling her about this idea of why, because I think she's one of those artists that challenges herself and suddenly goes into areas that she's not known for, and that's the thing, that when you're well known, when you do something, there's even more attention on you doing it than if you were just someone, So there's more pressure. So I said to her this, I mean, why do people risk failure? And she said to me, but Alan, it won't be a failure if you try your hardest. And I thought, wow, that's it. That's all you have to do. It's as simple as that. So that's all I'm doing. I'm just giving it a go because I want to. And what's the worst thing that could happen? I'll break my leg, or, it won't be as, I don't know. I don't care. Actually, it's like this virus, Ken, if I may digress. About a month ago, Grant, my husband, was in London. He came because he had to come back. He was working on a film of, actually, they were making a film. Lin-Manuel Miranda was directing a film of Tick, Tick, Boom. You know that Jonathan Larson thing? So Grant was storyboarding it with Lynn because he's an illustrator. And so he came back to that. So he missed the opening of Endgame and hadn't seen it. So once they'd were about to start shooting, he came to see the show, and it was just, of course, when the virus was all going nuts. And so we talked about maybe he should stay in London. I said, "Oh, don't stay in London. Don't stay in London. You've got to go back." And also, I don't want to get stranded in London and everything. And I said, and also, like, loads of people are going to get it. It's not something to worry about. It's happening. It's here. We are, many people we know will have it. Some people we know will die. That's happened already. And I said, and maybe we'll get it. But, I'm confident that we're kind of fit and strong, and hopefully we'll get through it. And if we don't, you know what? It's been magical. That's what I said. That's what I said on the way home. I've had a few drinks, but I said that, and I truly feel that's the kind of attitude you need to have. Like, it's don't worry. Why bother wasting more time worrying about the thing that is your reality? Just try and deal with it. And shit happens. Just try and have fun whilst it's happening.
Very, very wise words. I'm like a little choked up myself. I've got some own issues I'm dealing with right now personally. And it's that's exactly it. You can't dwell on it. You've got to think about what's tomorrow. So let's go to another question here. Susie Easter, I'm a theater professor at Wells College. My students are feeling really down right now that they can't work in the theater collaboratively without using technology. Any advice for them on how to, again, keep the energy of their projects going when they can only see people on a screen and can't get in a room?
Well, I think they've got to be clever and innovative and think of this as an opportunity. That this is our future. Like, I'm doing a play with the National Theatre of Scotland. None of us are actually going to meet. I think for this time, try and be clever and think of concepts that are going to use and make a point of the fact that you're isolated and you're doing this thing. I think actually, the way we engage with the internet as performers, it could be revolutionized by this. I'm sure it is already being revolutionized. So I think actually don't be down about it. Try and think of it as a positive, and that it would stretch yourself into thinking of ideas about how you can use this technology and this tragedy to kind of make interesting art.
I got to throw this up. This Mark Barbash, he has named your next show, by the way.
What is it?
Mary, can you throw this up on the screen there? The name of Alan's next show, Mark Barbash, 8:28 p.m. Mary, are you there?
It is.
Balls of United Steelworkers. There it is. So the name of your next show or your next book, there it is.
Thank you very much.
Of United Steelworkers. Let's see what other. Lots of comments about people reading the podcast, which was great. What was your favorite part, Katie Irene Lacine? What was your favorite part of playing Gold on The Good Wife? And are there plans for you to be on The Good Fight?
There aren't plans for me to be on The Good Fight because they asked me, but they wouldn't pay me my rate, and so I said no. So that's not going to happen. And did the same to Juliana too. So I would have liked to actually. I thought it all worked out with my schedule, and I thought, oh, that's nice, and I'll go back. And I actually feel, my daughter is in Sarah Steele, who plays my daughter. She's in The Good Fight, and I thought, oh, that'd be lovely. And then they were like, oh, we're not paying you your rate. And I was like, oh, all right. You have to value yourself, people. You have to value yourselves. So I said no, but the best part about playing Eli Gold was, I just think actually the writing was so good. It was a really great thing. I'd never done a series like that before. I'd never done anything really that didn't have an arc, because in Britain, when you do TV series, they're always written, the whole thing's written before you start. And when I'd done, I've either done mini series or guest spots on things where there was, an end to your story. So just going into something where I did it for 7 years and you literally didn't know what was going to happen to your character next. At first, I found that really terrifying and annoying because suddenly you'd be like, oh, now I have an ex-wife, and oh, I have a daughter, and oh, now I'm a crisis manager. But actually, it was very liberating in a way. And what I think was really great was just the standard of writing, and the fact that if what made that character so good, I think, was that I was really miscast in terms of the things I'd done before. And so I came at it from a slightly theatrical angle. and then that inspired the writers to kind of lob things at me to see, you know, and I would lob it back. And so that was what it was. That was really great. I think it's when you have great writers, everything is better.
Well, I find that some of the greatest roles I've noticed on television, including that character, it's when the writers stop actually writing for whatever person they invented on the page before they knew you were playing the role, and they start to learn from you, start to become the character, and they write more for you as you go on, right?
Yeah, it's this sort of fusion, you know, it's a kind of a symbiotic thing that happens, and I think we really got into a groove with that. And then it got, I mean, it was mental, some of the things. The last season, I was always standing in toilets listening at air vents, you know, things like that. I mean, crazy, sort of surreal almost. And my office, like this tiny little office, and, you know, people, it was, I loved it. I loved it. I mean, the thing again was that, you know, I think they felt that whatever they gave me, I'd give it a go, you know, so that made for a very exciting, it's interesting, like, you know, when looking back on it now, because when I was in it, when I was doing it, you don't sort of think, gosh, that was an incredible, iconic sort of television character. But now I think it really was, because it sort of really pushed the boundaries of, it was a very real character and based in reality, and people felt things for him, but also he was mad, you know, things he did were crazy. So I really liked it. I feel very lucky to have been a part of it. I made really good friends as well, which is always the best thing.
I want to go back to this, because you like stopped for a second and said, you've got to value yourself, Ken. You've got to value yourself. I want to go back to that a second, because turning down a role like that when they're not paying you your rate, I think it's very hard to turn, especially no matter how successful you are in this business. But do you have any moments in your career where you turned something down that you really could have used that gig, but you were like, no, I'm not doing that. I'm not going to sell myself out. I'm not going to do something I don't like. Even I don't care if I need that money or need that credit.
Well, I mean, there's a variety of things there. I think, yes, there's things I get asked to do things. Like at the beginning of this year, I sort of said to my agents, "Oh, I need to earn some money," which is a translation for my normal rules of what I will and won't do are relaxed. Because, you know, doing a like 4-month gig in London for a non-profit, it's you have to sort of think, okay, the rest of my year I've got to try and get a little cash flow situation going to keep me in the style I'm accustomed. So when I said that, various things came my way, and then, you know, then I just thought, you know what, I don't need the money that much. There was a couple of things, and then of course there was a couple of good things that came. It didn't pay anything, but I mean, I think it's all a question of balance. Sometimes you have to do things for your soul and for passion and to challenge you, and other times you've got to just make sure that, you know, you have a nice life, and it's a constant sort of it's like a business. You're a business, and you want to make sure that and also, you know, doing big sort of famous television or films and things can actually help other smaller things, because you're famous, help them get made. And I think about that a lot as well. But the thing I was going to say is that I have this thing that when you're negotiating for money, I have what I call my humiliation fee, which is, what is the amount of money that I could go to work for? What is the amount of money they would give me that I would be happy to go to work without feeling resentful about how mean they're being? You know what I mean? You have to think of a humiliation level. That's, if I go below that, I will be humiliated and resentful, and you don't want to do that. That's going to make you sick. So that's what I think. That's what I do. You know, and I think, okay, if I get any more than this, it'll be great. If I get any less than this, I won't do it. And I always do that whenever I'm negotiating anything. And also, you know, my agents in London once said to me that I was one of the few actors they'd ever represented who was actually willing to lose a job over that. Like, if I say I want this and if I lose it, I lose it. I really mean it. And I think we as actors are And I'm lucky I have choices, and I also make a lot of my own work. So that's also, a good thing. But I think we as actors are so used to being grateful for whatever scraps are thrown our way that kind of saddened me that I was unusual in that I was willing to lose things because of this humiliation thing. But I know how awful it is to go to work feeling like you're being taken for a ride or not appreciated enough. And that's what I mean, that you have to value yourself and understand your own power and understand yourself about what you're prepared to put up with.
I love it. You should write a book on the business of this business, frankly, and negotiating tips from Alan Cumming.
I'd love to be an agent.
You can be my agent anytime you want. The accent alone will earn you more money for people. Yeah.
Okay, this is what I say to my dog when she's back. How dare you? I could use that one.
I love it. Well, that just about wraps us up today. I can't thank you enough for being here and for inspiring us and sharing some of your quarantine time with us. Thank you so much, everyone. I look forward to seeing you in person and giving you a big old non-condone aroma hug.
When's that going to be? I mean, I'm just thinking, when are we going to feel comfortable enough to hug people or to go to the theater,
I know. The world has definitely changed. Well, there will be positives out of this somewhere, somehow, and I have a feeling you'll find it.
I tell you what is a positive? This.
I'm on a fitness challenge too. Did you see that?
Yes.
Okay, so it's an Alan versus Ken. At the end of this 30 days, we're going to both post pictures of our guns, and we'll see who wins.
Okay.
Well, and then we'll have a fist
fight. No Photoshop cheating, though.
What?
No Photoshop cheating.
No Photoshop cheating. Thanks so much for being here. It means the world to us.
My pleasure. Lots of love. Take care.
Bye-bye. That was Alan Cumming and his guns, everybody. Thank him so much for being here. Thanks to all of you for being here tonight. He just is such a warm, genuine, positive person. I just love spending any time with him. I hope you enjoyed spending time with him as well. Check out all that stuff. Check out his podcast. Mary threw up a link in there. She didn't vomit up the link. She actually just threw it up in the chat room. There's also, what else did we talk about? His Audible book. Check that out. A lot of you talking about Club Cumming, which he has. That'll be fired up and ready to go as soon as he can, I am sure. Tomorrow night, we have director Lee Silverman, Lifespan of a Fact, Violet, lots of other things. She'll be with us tomorrow. Then Sergio Trujillo on Friday. It's already the weekend, everybody. Janine Tesori on Saturday. A great group coming up. Don't forget about the Actors Fund. Did someone say here that Brian Stokes Mitchell tested positive? Is that true? Did I see that? Someone confirm that. Brian Stokes Mitchell, who is the head of the Actors Fund. I want somebody to confirm that before we sign off. But don't forget to support them because they need it and they're doing great service for a lot of people in the entertainment industry. Yes, we do have a confirmation that he did confirm that. I just spoke to him last week when we were talking about all this stuff. So our thoughts go out to him and his wonderful family as well. Stay safe, stay healthy, stay home. You're starting to hear about more people that we know in our worlds that are getting this thing, and a lot are recovering, but a lot are still in very serious shape. And also the people that are recovering, by the way, and I'm going to do a blog about this tomorrow, it's just not fun going through what they're going fun. So you don't want to get it. You don't want to give it to anybody. Stay the heck home. Now, we're going to start this new thing at the end of every one of my episodes. It's called Something to Make You Smile. That's all that it is, something to make you smile. And we're going to put up a link right now to this YouTube clip that I think will make you smile. So we'll try to find something every day that makes you smile that we can go out on. And this is it. This is a family I want to hang out with. I would be quarantined with this family any day of the week. Mary, throw that. There it is. Throw that post in there. Check out that video. And just you want to hang around with these people. Thanks so much. Join us tomorrow. Facebook.com/Ken Davenport. Donate to the Actors Fund. We'll see you tomorrow with our friend Lee Silverman. It's going to be a lot of fun. Thanks so much, guys.